Welcome back to the channel. Today we got 12 regions of France explained. We're going to hop right in. So with that being said, what's smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty greats, overachieving, never slacking. Original link will be in the description, and this is from Les Frenchies. So with that being said, here we go.
One of the most recurring comments that we get from French people is that Paris is not France. And this is so true. There's so much more to France than just Paris, the French Riviera, and Normandy. From the pink granite cliffs of Bretagne, to the volcanic region of Auvergne, to the medieval fortress of Carcassonne, there's so much more to France than you can imagine, and you need to know about it. So in this video, we're going to tell you about the 12 regions of France, what there is to do there, what there is to see, and especially what you should eat and drink when you're there. Allez, on y va. France has 13 distinct regions, including Île-de-France, but we're not going to include the Paris region or Île-de-France in this video. But we'll show you the other 12 regions in alphabetical order, and we'll start with the Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes region. This region is 2 hours south of Paris by TGV train and is what we consider here the heart of France. The capital of the region is the city of Lyon, which is the gastronomy epicenter of France. So if you are a foodie, this is a must-visit region. To the west of Lyon is the Auvergne area, which is a lush volcanic area perfect for hikers and especially if you hate crowds. And to the east are the Alps, with some of the best ski slopes in the world. This region is home to several famous cans of cheese like the Reblochon, Tome de Savoie, and the Emmental. And this is also where the cheese fondue, the raclette, and tartiflette are from. The famous Chartreuse liquor is made in the region. So if you're looking for some of the best food of what France has to offer and you love hiking away from the hustle and bustle of the big cities, this region is for you. To get there, take the 2-hour ride on the TGV high-speed train to Lyon, spend the day in Lyon, and then rent a car to discover the rest of the region.
The next region is Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, or Burgundy. This stunning Côte d'Or is just southeast of Paris and offers views of vineyards, glazed tile roofs, and Romanesque architecture. Its capital is Dijon, a bustling, busy town, but also an artist village. After all, this is where Gustave Eiffel comes from. And in Dijon, you'll find the iconic Palace of the Duke of Burgundy, which is home to the Beaux-Arts Museum dating back to the late 1700s and is one of the richest collections in all of France. But what I love best about Burgundy is the small towns and villages all around. This countryside patchwork of small family-owned vineyards who bring their grapes together to create some of the best, and in some cases, the most expensive wines in the world, like Romanée-Conti, ranging from hundreds of dollars per bottle to thousands of dollars per bottle. Still, this place is not pretentious. You'll find old towns with medieval streets and half-timber buildings, a strong sense of community, and a perfect blend of history, culture, and great food. Speaking of food, some of the best-known French dishes come from right here. Beef bourguignon is how you say a Burgundy-style stew in French. This is where coq au vin comes from, and the typical escargot swimming in garlic butter.
It's a big election, but it's not complicated.
Escargot, how many times have I heard of you? Even since a kid, listening to musicians talk about it in their songs. Escargot. But France is just so beautiful.
Of course, Dijon mustard, which has its own particular history, but that's for another time. For adult beverages, this is the home of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and where they make one of my new favorites, Ricard, from the Absinthe family. If you want to visit the Bourgogne region, take the 1.5-hour TGV train ride from Paris Gare de Lyon to Dijon.
The next region is a place where I spent a lot of summers there as a kid, and that's Bretagne. Bretagne is located on the eastern front of France, on the coast. This region is rich in history and significance for France. This is where France meets Celtic culture. It's very Celtic and absolutely gorgeous. The capital of Brittany is Rennes.
That water was so just beautiful. You could see through it all the way to the bottom. I still feel like I'm yet to really see waters that clear. to where you just see everything. It's like it's just transparent.
But you'll want to travel deep in the region to feel and taste its influence. Being a coastal region, Brittany is famous for seafood like mussels, oysters, scallops, and langoustine. But this is the home of the famous French crepes, or galette, as they call it there. And they also produce some of the best salted butter in France, after Normandy if you ask them. And one of my favorite pastry is from Bretagne, the kouign-amann. This needs to be on your must-try list when you come to France. Brittany is for explorers. If you love medieval towns and thick forest mixed with amazing culinary traditions. To get there, it's a 2.5-hour train to Saint-Malo, and from there, I rent a car and discover the rest of Brittany on my own. Bring some hiking shoes and an appetite. You won't be disappointed here.
The next region is the Centre-Val de Loire, which is just south and west of Paris. And as its name suggests, this is the valley along the Loire River. Here you'll find fields of grains and flowers, vineyards, and more chateaus than you can imagine, each with their own story of elegant lifestyles, fabulous gardens, and personality. The capital city is Orleans, but if you continue just a little bit farther southwest to the town of Tours, you'll find yourself right in the middle of a trail of castles dotting the little villages along the river, like the Chateau Chambord, Chateau Chenonceau, and the Chateau Amboise, to name a few. It's also where Leonardo da Vinci lived his last days, in the Chateau de Clos-Luz in Ambrose. You can still visit his home and see his models and life-size pieces throughout the garden. When it comes to food and beverages, you'll find local flavors of saffron, walnut oil, flavored vinegars, and black truffles. But my favorites are the rillettes, which is a shredded pork spread that you'd put on your baguette, or the rillons, which are bits of flavorful pork belly. And when you put that together with a local goat cheese and a glass of their regional Sancerre, Chenin Blanc, or a Rosé d'Agneau, you're in for a good time. If you want to visit the Centre-Val de Loire, take the 1.5-hour TGV train from Gare Austerlitz in Paris to the Tours train station.
The next region is Corsica, which is the island right off the Côte d'Azur in the Mediterranean Sea. It's known for its stunning landscapes with a mix of mountains and forest and sandy beaches. Imagine a place where you can see high rocky peaks covered in green trees, and then just a short drive away, you're standing on the beach with clear blue water. That's Corsica. The island is a great place for hiking, especially in its famous mountains like Monte Cinto, the highest point in Corsica. There are also small towns and villages where you can experience the local culture, which is a mix of French and Italian influence. Corsica has a long history with many old buildings and ruins that tell the story of the past. Corsica is known for its unique and delicious food, which is a mix of French and Italian flavors with its own.
Those views are just breathtaking, and that mix of Italian and French culture has to be very interesting. And just like, man, imagine all the history there is to learn there.
Local twist. They have great charcuterie, cured meats like coppa, lonzu, and figatello. And chestnuts is a big deal in Corsica. They grow in abundance on the island and are used to make a variety of food. And since Corsica is an island, seafood is very popular. People enjoy dishes like grilled fish, octopus salad, and bouillabaisse. Now to get there, you can fly directly from Paris or take a TGV train to Marseille and take a ferry to the island.
The next region is a really big one. It borders Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, and Switzerland, and that is the Grand Est. It's also quite diverse because it includes the prestigious and glamorous sub-region of Champagne and the German-based Alsace sub-region. So let's look at the Grand East in two parts. Strasbourg is the capital of Alsace, and has gone back and forth between French and German rule for centuries. And you can really feel the German influence in the way the language is spoken and with words that you see on signs and menus. And this is true for Colmar and Riquewihr, two other cities in Alsace that you really need to know about. You'll see a mix of medieval and Renaissance architecture, brightly colored buildings, and a robust river life. To say they're charming is an understatement. Popular foods in Alsace are the choucroute, which is a sauerkraut dish with bits of pork and a variety of sausages served with potatoes and carrots, or the flammkuche, which is like a pizza except with a white sauce and bits of thick-cut bacon. And of course, pretzels, which they call bretzels with a B. When it comes to cheese, this is where you'll find Munster and Gruyere, and you can wash all of those down.
I wonder why they call it bretzels instead of pretzels.
With one of their local beers, a Riesling white wine, or the Alsatian version of champagne called Crémant. To get to the Alsace sub-region of Grand Est, take the 2-hour TGV train from Gare de l'Est in Paris to the Strasbourg station. For the Champagne sub-region, you may already know what to expect. The capital city is Reims, and they say this is where men go to become kings. Since 816 AD, 33 of them were coronated here, starting with the son of Charlemagne. This is a regal place surrounded by vineyards producing the king of wines. Until the upper 1600s, grapes grown in the Champagne region made regular flat wine until Dom Perignon, yes, he's a real guy, discovered the modern technique of making the sparkling wine we know today as champagne. And of course, since it's a protected appellation, only sparkling wine grown and produced in the Champagne region can be called champagne. Many large houses like Veuve Clicquot, Moët Chandon, Dom Perignon offer tours, and that's pretty cool. But there are also lots of small family-owned houses where you can get more personal experience and often some amazing champagnes. Whether you enjoy your champagne with some fresh fruits, chocolates, and local pink biscuit cookies, or with a charcuterie board with something made with the local black truffles and the fine ham that comes from Reims, you'll make memories to last a lifetime. To get to the Champagne sub-region of Gare de l'Est, take the 45-minute train from Gare de l'Est in Paris to the Reims train station.
Now, the best way to discover all the regions of France is by train. And when we book our train, we use Trainline because it's super user-friendly and it's the exact same price that you'll find everywhere. So I'm going to put a link in the description. Check it out and see what kind of pricing you get for the destination you want to go to. The next region is Hauts-de-France, which is the region north of the Paris region. This is another place where I spent a lot of time as a kid because my mom was born in Dunkirk. This is also where we live, near the city of Chantilly, in the southernmost part of the region. This region is not high on the list of prime destination for visitors, and that's a mistake because it has a lot to offer. First off, you have Lille to the north, which is a vibrant and beautiful city. Amiens to the south is home to the largest cathedral in France. So big, in fact,
That's my favorite cathedral. Not kidding. Especially after I seen it in Van Helsing, the movie. This was a couple weeks ago. I was watching it and I seen like there was this. I don't know if he was like a vampire or whatever he was, but he ran in the cathedral, and Van Helsing ended up having this big battle with him. And inside that specific cathedral, and I was just so excited because I'm like, I recognize this. This is from this is from being on YouTube and learning. This is in France.
You could put 2 Notre Dame inside the Cathedral of Amiens. And one of Colleen's favorite castles in France is here, Pierrefonds, which is so iconic it provided inspiration for the Walt Disney classics like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella. Hauts-de-France is the home of the famous moule frite you'll find in many restaurants all around France. This is where you'll find the iconic maroilles cheese and plenty of great beers. Getting to Lille or Amiens is super easy with daily TGV trains from Gare du Nord, and you'll get there in less than 2 hours.
The next region of France is the Nouvelle-Aquitaine. It's located along the southwest coast of France, bordering on Spain to the south. It's rich with large mountain ranges, fabulous rivers, natural parks, marshes, and a long, beautiful coastline with some world-famous beaches. The difference in lifestyle and cuisine from the north to the south make this another diverse region. In the north, the place most people are familiar with in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region is its...
I love that gate because it reminded me of the entrance into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
beaches. The difference in lifestyle and cuisine from the north to the south make this another diverse region. In the north, the place most people...
That looks like the entrance, like that gate with Willy Wonka. I love it.
People are familiar with in the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region is its capital, Bordeaux. This is where you'll find the World of Wine Museum, a thriving art community, a vibrant waterfront, and the kind of up-and-coming life that comes with being a university town. It has a unique and pleasant atmosphere, And I've decided it probably feels how Paris felt back in the 1950s. It's needless to say, the business of wine is at the center of their economy. Most vineyards in nearby towns like Saint-Emilion are large legacy domains. This is not a region for small family producers. You'll see vines from a single domain stretching out as far as the eye can see, but they're definitely worth a visit. Here on the menu, you'll find a world of seafood, especially from the nearby Atlantic, the Gironde estuary, and Arcachon, which is famous for its oysters. When you're in Nouvelle-Aquitaine, you should definitely try a seafood platter with shrimps, clams, scallops, crabs, langoustine, but there's also the non-seafood.
If you are a seafood lover, this is like heaven for you. Absolutely.
Stuff like wild mushrooms that grow all around, their local lamb, and excellent beef. To visit this area of Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, take the 2.5-hour TGV train from the Montparnasse station in Paris to Bordeaux. The south side of Nouvelle-Aquitaine is heavily influenced by its neighbor, the Pyrenees area of Spain. You can taste it in the cuisine. This is Basque country with their Bayonne-style cured ham and stews baked in the little cocotte pots, and especially by the beaches of Biarritz, the surfing capital of France, you'll find lots of flavorful tapas. To get to this part of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region, take the 4-hour TGV train from Gare Montparnasse in Paris to the Biarritz train station.
Next is the famous region of Normandy. Normandy for many Parisians is what the Hamptons are for New Yorkers. It's about 2 hours from Paris, so it's a quick getaway from the city. But unlike the Hamptons, you'll find plenty of affordable places to have a great time. Of course, the Didet beaches are a must visit. But all along the coast, you'll find gems like Medieval City.
The Hamptons, but affordable? Okay. I got my attention.
Of Bayeux.
Because the Hamptons, everybody know that's super expensive.
Quaint seaside port of Honfleur. And don't miss the beautiful city of Rouen with its stunning cathedral and its iconic clock. Of course, the Mont Saint-Michel is on the edge of Brittany and Normandy, and it—
Oh man, I love that. I gotta visit this castle one day. That is just so fantastic. I'm so grateful that we have that on this planet. I mean, if it makes me feel this good to look at that castle from online, right, from my laptop, just imagine how it would feel standing right there looking at that beautiful— I just love it. I really do. It does something to my spirit.
is a must-see once in your life. Normandy is cheese and butter country. Here they produce the world's famous camembert and some of the finest butter in the land. Don't leave Normandy before you have a chance to taste the Calvados apple liquor or the local cider. To get there is super easy. Just take a train from Gare Saint-Lazare and take a 2.5-hour train ride to Caen and rent a car from there so you can jump from one location to another and see it all.
The next region is Occitanie, which runs along the Mediterranean over through Andorra and Spain for the borders. Its capital is Toulouse, but then again, you'll find a broad diversity here, from the cliffs and caverns of Rocamadour to the Gothic cathedrals and neoclassic architecture of Montpellier, or the antiquity and walled city of Carcassonne, the Roman rules of Nîmes, the spiritual pilgrimage of Lourdes, or France's second most visited attraction, the Pont du Gard Aqueduct. This is mountain country. Here you'll find amazing blue cheeses like Roquefort, but also delicious softer cheeses like Rocamadour or Cathar. This is where the classic peasant dish cassoulet with its meat and white beans comes from, and it's where the gooey half cheese, half mashed potato aligot comes from. And not to mention the Toulouse sausage, which is the closest thing France has to an Italian sausage. For wines from this region, look for Cahors, Languedoc, or the Clarets. To visit the Occitanie region, take the 4-hour TGV train from Gare Montparnasse to Toulouse.
Next is the Pays de la Loire, which is just south of Brittany. It's a great place to visit if you love castles, rivers, and beautiful landscapes. Pays de la Loire is famous for its stunning castles. One of the most famous is the Château de Brissac, which is the tallest castle in France. There's also Château d'Angers with huge walls and a beautiful garden inside. These castles look like something out of a fairy tale. There are charming towns and cities in Pays de la Loire, like Nantes and Angers. Nantes is a lively city with a cool castle, lots of park, and even a giant mechanical elephant that you can ride. Pays de la Loire has delicious food. You can try the rillettes or enjoy fresh seafood from the coast. The region is also known for its wine, especially white wine like Muscadet, which go perfectly with seafood. Besides castles and city, Pays de la Loire has peaceful countryside with vineyards, forests, and rivers. It's a great place to go biking, hiking, or just take a leisurely walk to enjoy the nature around you. This is another region that is very easy to get to from Paris with a quick 2-hour train ride from the Montparnasse train station to Nantes.
And last but not least, the region of Provence, Côte d'Azur. When you hear about the south of France, this is what people are talking about. Here you'll find the oldest city in France, its capital, Marseille, founded in 600 BC by Greek settlers. And this is a main commercial port for France. But along the coast, heading towards the Italian border, you'll find glamorous jet-set beaches, ports with mega yachts, Mediterranean villages where you can walk through town in your espadrilles and sandals, find old clay pots and tiles and little boutiques, and savor a nice rosé on a delightful terrace. It reminds me of the Steve Martin movie, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Then again, just northwest of Marseille, you'll find the small provincial town of Aix-en-Provence, or the Roman ruins of Arles, or the Palace of the Popes in Avignon. Regardless of where in Provence you find yourself, you won't be far from lavender fields and you will feel the Mediterranean influence. The cuisine is full of dishes with tomatoes and olives and aromatic herbs. After all, this is where ratatouille comes from, and the flavorful bouillabaisse fish stew, or that fabulous garlicky mayonnaise aioli. It's definitely crowded, okay, overcrowded in season, but this is definitely a region of France worth exploring. To visit the Provence-Côte d'Azur region, take the 4-hour TGV train from Gare de Lyon in Paris to Marseille, or the 6-hour TGV train also from Gare de Lyon to Nice.
In this video, we told you about the 12 regions of France. Next, I would watch this video, which is all about how to book your train tickets and all about the train stations in Paris.
This was an awesome video that covered so much. Obviously, I've been covering France for a little while now, so there is a lot of things that I have seen, but you know, this video makes me feel like I'm seeing it all over again. It's well put together, very excellent, and definitely got me excited. Just seeing those different views and different areas. I mean, it's honestly really is amazing. France has a lot to offer to anybody, any tourist, and man, we have a beautiful planet, y'all. I just wish us humans could stop ruining it so much, just stop being so divided, and really just come together and enjoy. We could all enjoy this all over. It's just so beautiful. France is just one area, but it's full of so much. And in that one area where it's like you had what they say, like a combination of Italian and French history. I can only imagine the stories in a history that is just in that specific area. Looking at the water, looking at people on the boats, looking at you got the French Alps if you love the snow. I mean, you could get any type of feeling you want to get over there. You could go skiing, you could go on a boat. I'm sure you could go surfing. I'm sure, like, if you love seafood, this is a paradise for you. They're big on their seafood, big on their cheese, right? Definitely big on their wine. I don't think it would be France without wine. The French love their wine, guys. Like that was look at the
Kamala backed Biden on everything.
Everything with us in America right now is about this election, and people are acting super crazy. Like yesterday, I told on a short video I had posted, I talked about being someone actually trying to like pay me to vote for their specific the person they want to win, and people actually called me a liar for that and told me that I was paid to make that video. Like that's how crazy the energy is in America right now. That you can't tell your truth without being accused or judged or just completely criticized and lied upon. So when I look at right now, looking at France is for me, it giving me a peace of mind, and looking at these views and just hearing about things that don't have anything to do with politics right now, especially with today being election day. It just it definitely boosts my mood. So bro, it just feels good. I keep pausing because I'm trying to find like those perfect thumbnails, of just the views. Like, look at that. Look at that. Just amazing. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. I don't know how you could look at something like that and not just feel good or feel some type of like refreshing type of energy. It's just amazing. But with that being said, guys, original link in the description. Beautiful. I mean, this video was amazing. Let me give another shout out to Les Frenchies. Uh, and once again, original link in the description. Thank you for this incredible video. And I will be back with more soon. Much love, everybody. And yeah, today's election day. So, you know, here we go.